Race day, it is race day. Race day, each is race day. Yeah. I'm hoping to finish. Just to finish. Don't ready up because it makes people scream. Scream! I don't want people to be screaming. When's the race gonna start? We're gonna have commentary. Alright, we're readying up. Oh no. That's not good, is it?
Evening, Spider.
Oh no. Wet qualifying. Great.
And I've just realised that I've been on mute for that entire intro. Oh, great. Anyway, so it's a wet Miami. It's a great Miami circuit. However, these boys aren't going to be enjoying it that much because nobody likes a wet Miami. Most people don't like Miami in general. Anyway, I am your host, SRL Spider 95. Now, my good friend and Ferrari teammate, Mr. AFL, has unfortunately been called into work this evening, so it is just me. Well, I say it's just me. I have a little bit of a little co-commentator with me this evening. It is my 3.5-year-old son who can't speak a word of English. It is Mr. Spider Harry number 19. Now, we do have obviously 2 drivers serving penalties this evening. We do have Atom, who is we've got a retiree already. So Free Fall's retired straight away. We should have had quite a few more drivers racing this evening, but well, I'm just getting word from the paddock that Free Fall's drive setup didn't do too well in the wet. Now, Free Fall, I don't know if you're watching, but would you like to join the comms booth for quali at least, just so I've got someone to talk to? Just see if he'll join. He may or may not join, so excuse me one moment, just see if I can get him in, because it would be nice to have a bit of a co-host for a little bit. See if he joins. Let's see if he joins. Right, so we are on board with Jenkins at the moment. Jenkins has been putting in time on the track at the moment. He's looking for some points, he's desperate for some points, and you know what? Tonight could be the best way of him getting points. Now, I am joined by a guest comms temporarily since his dry setup didn't seem to want to work in the wet. It is the one and only Mr. SRL 34. How are we doing, buddy?
Ah, not bad, Rob, not bad, mate. Yeah, I'll give you a little insight for the driver's perspective. It's to a full dry race here in Miami here tonight, so, you know, that being the case, put my dry setup on. Not a single little alteration, maybe a change to the tyre pressures just to build that tip a bit better. And, you know, first few turns out of the pits, give it a little rev, see how it feels, and the car just decided 90 degrees into the wall was the answer.
Well, this is your first time here at SRL. You finally made it, mate. You finally got to take your Alpine on the track.
It was a long outing for the first run. Yeah, no, I'll finally be able to make it. It's a shame I had to miss quite a few, and the weeks I was available was the weeks where there wasn't a race. So
yeah.
it was just the perfect storm. But here tonight, and then I seen it was Miami. Not the best track, must be said, from me anyway. But
I know a lot of people hold Miami obviously as a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for, Scott? A bit of a not a dark horse, a bit of a dark spot for them. They don't really rate the track. Unfortunately, I am one of them rarities that do love this circuit. So I just felt like it had to go on for season 1. Obviously, you're no stranger to the comms box. Obviously, you comms over me on a Monday night over at CRL as Jenkins goes fastest with 1 minute 43.8. And we are joined by Little Man as well in the comms box at the moment, for those that can hear him going. I just thought you might appreciate coming to the comms box instead of sitting there for 15 minutes, mate, on quali.
Might as well, you know, might as well. I had a couple of quote-unquote engineers in the party watching me, and they just, yeah, I thought I'd come chat to you instead of getting laughed at for the next 10 minutes. But yeah, Mark Wilson at 1:42.440, he goes top in the Red Bull. So I'm expecting that, I'll be honest with you, Rob, I don't know much about the times from this track. I know high 20s is generally the dry times, maybe about a 28 I would be expecting from myself. Intermediate times, answers on a postcard, but it looks like we're going to be in those low 40s here, and Mark Wilson putting that early benchmark, but he's just pipped by Adaptable Earl 07, what a name that is.
We've got some good names in this league that seem to keep constantly popping up. Obviously, I don't know how much you've kept up with SRL, because I know you've been busy behind the scenes with a lot of stuff, mate. But at the moment, our championship leader is Dan94PL, PC player who literally runs no assist, and at the moment is doing the Max Verstappen in SRL. He is dominating at the moment. The last, I believe it is 2 out of 3.
Oh, we seem to have lost Rob for a second, briefly, folks. So yeah,
hang on, there you
go. He's back.
Right, Littleham pulled the headset out as he decided to go and run over and see his mummy.
Oh, praise him.
But yeah, so as I was saying, Dan is the current championship leader. He's currently sitting P7. The Ferraris have put in a bit of a blinder of a lap there. Both your teammate Adam still hasn't. An interesting one. One of the Merc boys is coming out on full wets.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking this when I came out. The game's obviously recommending intermediates, but it's really heavy rain here, Rob. You can see those puddles are definitely starting to form. I'm on board there with Wesley H. He almost lost it going into turn one, sideways through that first corner. It is pretty wet here in Miami. Luckily drying up before the race hour, but it could have been a case of your likes of that Galeo, your Mark Wilson, your Jenkins, they've got the lap in early, they've got them in good. Maybe this is qualifying done, Rob, we'll wait and see.
Good possibility, yeah, very, very good possibility. To be fair, Jenkins, I've been speaking to him behind the scenes like you like to do for us over at CRL. Jenkins has been messaging me all week saying he's been putting in practice at this track and been falling in love with it as the days goes by, and he is track, so awarding points down from P1 to P10, as long as he's in that top 10, very, very good chance. 1 in 13 chance. As for yourself, Scott, you've got a very good chance of getting your first points of the season on the board.
Yeah, just need to beat out 3 ideally. Hopefully I can beat out 12, but last the first challenge, that could be quite interesting. But not going to be easy because, like you say, you've got likes of, well, there you go, the man himself, Dan 94PL. 4 tenths clear at the top in these worsening conditions. He's going to make my life difficult today. Adaptable Earl seems to be on the pace as well. Mark Wilson, I know him quite well. Never one to put up with the equation, really. And I'm sure, you know, a mixed to wet condition qualifying is always going to mix up this grid a little bit. There's going to be plenty of surprises for you, Rob, I'm hoping.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Scott. Phantom Nug, who is on the full wet tyres, he goes for a spin in the war, and that will be him starting on the back row alongside yourself. So the wets didn't really do him too many favours, unfortunately.
I wonder, it must just be on that borderline, just, you know, just intermediates and no more, really. Not a lot between them right now. Tofar, I think, is starting his first lap. Adam Legowski still in the pits, but Mark Wilson replies to Dan, and it's a 1:41.4. Now, of course, intermediates here, Rob, they're a little bit different than a normal qualifying session. You can afford to just put lap after lap after lap, get the temperature, get the confidence, and
yeah, you can
see if these times can improve.
You can, and Miami, there is opportunities to overtake, especially in Sector 1, and then obviously down that long straight as you go into Sector 3 as well. Those will be your prime opportunities for the overtakes. It's a bit of a mix and match, this track, let's face it as well. There's plenty of space in certain areas, and then it's quite cramped in others, where obviously we're on board with Tofo, who's showing us one of the cramped areas as we speak. He's about to set his first lap of the session. It is a good circuit. Obviously, it holds a soft spot in my heart. Obviously, getting my first P2 over at CRL, just short of that maiden, which obviously, hopefully, one day I'll be speaking to you as a winner.
I'm sure it's not far off, Rob. Yeah, I think personally the big thing is, like myself, I've been league racing for a number of years now, and generally the only time I play this game is in practice for league race, whether that's a good thing or not. You don't normally play this track unless there's a league race. Not many leagues use it, so it's more a case of I don't like the track, it's more I'm not used to it. And it is one, like you say, there's those wide areas, there's these cramped areas, there's also these high to medium speed corners, long straights, but then, like you say, you know, that little chicane, it's tight, you need downforce, you need steering responsibility, but you also need to be able to hold it fast around the medium speed corners, around the slow speed. It's a real mixed bag on the way of setup, and dialing that in can be crucial to the laps. Wesley's dialed in a lap though, Rob.
He's put a belt of a lap. Wesley is desperate to try and catch himself back up in this championship fight. So let's jump on board with who needs to. They're in the pits. Tell you what, let's go and keep an eye on one of the Ferrari boys. I'm going to go with James Shades while I quickly load up what the table currently stands at the moment. So Dan is currently 11 points clear from Wesley. Wesley will be looking to put in a big result today to try and narrow that gap. Obviously, points are awarded the exact same way as in real F1 is. Obviously, points all the way down from P1 down to P10, and obviously a point for the fastest lap. Wesley in the Mercedes currently sits P2 with 50 points, and then Dean Pryor, who is absent today because of the time change, he is in third with 46 points. So we could have a real switch on the table today as well. Obviously, for those that are watching, they're probably going, hang on a second, Rob, you're supposed to be streaming from 8 o'clock. Why on earth are you streaming from 6:30? Well, that is because England's first game of the Rugby World Cup kicks off tonight at 8. And anyone who knows me, Scott being one of them, will know that despite the England team not being on best form at the moment, I do not want to miss their opening game of the World Cup.
Can't fault you for that, mate. True fan. Cut you through, your blood runs red, and not just because that's biologically standard. Yeah, it's definitely one to watch, and I mean, I'll be watching Scotland tomorrow night. I don't think that'll be any
I'm
secret.
looking forward to
Dan,
the Scotland game.
oh, what a game to start it as well. South Africa and Scotland.
It's
That'll
a
be.
big game tomorrow. Did you watch the France-New Zealand match at all yesterday, or?
I didn't catch any of I haven't caught any of it yet. I've seen a couple of highlights from a few of the skill pins today. But I think they were to be expected.
It was a good game. The game itself was good. The ref on the other hand, as always, can be a bit questionable, but it was a good game nonetheless. While we have been talking, Dan has put himself back on front row with a 1 minute 40.4. Wesley's currently P2 for 1 minute 41.1, and James Shades behind the scenes, he went 1:41.4. And the lovely Danielle has joined us in the comments. See, it's not just you she goes and talks to, mate. She comes to see me on Saturday as well.
She's gonna be getting sick of hearing my voice at this rate.
But she is a good team player, though. She obviously supports SRL, she supports CRL, both channels which hold a big part in our hearts. And it is great to see some of the CRL boys as well come over as well. Obviously, a couple of condolences from some of the CRL lot. Glowstick was supposed to be racing tonight. Unfortunately, he has had to back out at the last minute due to a team event calling him up. He sends his apologies. A few of the full-time drivers unfortunately couldn't make it, hence why the grid is a bit of an empty grid tonight. I mean, 12 is the absolute smallest grid we'll run on, so we can give the go-ahead for the race. It is good to see. But it's a good opportunity for those that are desperate to earn points to try and claw themselves back into the competition, because it is still early days.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've still got a few big names here from the championship so far, but it's an opportunity for the guys that are maybe running, competing for 8th, 7th, 9th, sort of that area. Maybe something goes wrong for the guys at the top, maybe they pull off a strategic masterclass, or maybe this track is just one of their best to try and pull themselves up and get a podium, maybe even get a surprise win in here, Rob. It'll shake things up. It'll be a good experience for some. It could be a horrendous experience for others, myself included. But yeah, it should be a good one.
It should be a good one, and this is one of the reasons like I wanted to include Miami, because it was on the maybe a season 2 track, but I thought, nah, let's get Miami out there, because the tracks that are appearing this season, the majority of them probably won't appear next season. Obviously, we are confirmed for a second season at least, and then obviously depending on where we're at the end of this game's life cycle will be where we then turn around and go, right, do we continue on into the next game and go from there? As Albator doesn't go any further, he's invalidated right at the very end, but he's coming in anyway. We're going to jump on board with Jess and see how she's getting on. But yeah, it's one of those, like you said, Scott, you're one of the few people that only come on for league racing, but that's to be expected though, because a lot of drivers, obviously, when they race online, they don't want to play bumper cars, and that's why a lot of the people that are in this server, this league I should say, obviously we are a brand new league, we are bottom of the barrel league at the moment as it does stand, we're not well known, but everyone here is either they're mixed talent, so it's good. We've got a good mixture of drivers between us, and they're all here for one reason. They want to come and have a race. They don't want to go, oh, let's bump into this guy, let's bump into that guy and ruin their game. They're all here for one reason, to play a game of F1.
Absolutely. All here, like you say, there's a mix of talent. There'll be some good drivers maybe at the bottom end of the performance ability, some near the top end. The ultimate thing is that there's respect, and there's, you know, there's no, the quicker drivers forcing their way through, expecting them to get out of the way, such and such. There's nobody doing any daft, rash moves. It's all about some clean racing, some fun racing, and enjoying a Saturday night on the game, I suppose.
Exactly, that's what we're all here for. Now, after tonight, it is a 2-week break. Obviously, I am away in Greece. Don't worry though, Scott. I will be tuning in for your stream of Silverstone for CRL, keeping you company in the comments, because Nathan won't let me race it. So we then return for a triple header, which is Australia, China, and the dreaded Monaco. And then we have a 8 dash to the finish, which is Brazil, Mexico, Imola, Austria, Abu Dhabi, Belgium, Italy, and then to wrap things up in Las Vegas. Any of them tracks, Mark, Scott, that you are looking forward to racing, and any of those that you're going, I'm not too confident for those ones.
Australia always provides good racing, I find. China, a lot of people don't like it. Personally, I think it's quite a nice flowy track. It gives some good racing. Let's just not say anything about Monaco. It can be either brilliant or bumper cars. We'll wait and see. Brazil again, typically very good racing. Mexico, normally good racing.
No 140.
Imola, Austria, Abu Dhabi, Belgium and Monza. Chef's kiss to them. And Las Vegas, I love that for the finale. EML, the esports event, are doing the exact same thing. What a way to round it off. There's not many leagues or competitive events I've done it round there. I've done a few social races around it, and that level of nobody really knowing the track well breeds a little bit of chaos and a little bit of excitement. So it should be a brilliant finale, Rob. I really do like the look of this calendar, I must say.
A lot of thought went into it when designing it. It was like, oh, we've got to have a mixture there, but I thought there's no better place than for our very first season finale than under the lights at Las Vegas. I genuinely can't wait to see it. And hopefully, maybe, just maybe, a title battle to the very end. A grand finale in Las Vegas is what we're hoping for.
I mean, I'm only 60 points off. Don't count me out of it yet,
I'm
boys.
not counting you out at all, mate. I've seen what you can do, and who knows? Because you've been away for a few weeks, that's give these guys maybe a bit of a head start on yourself, Scott, and you're going to go, aha! Now I'm back. Put these boys in their place.
We'll wait and see. Obviously, it'll be a test tonight to see how I rank up against them. I'm quietly confident that I expect myself to be up near the top half, but you can never rule anything out. And as we've seen already, I've got a posh on for hitting the wall.
That was a dry setup in the wet, mate. So hopefully the weather forecast man isn't told you a bunch of lies, mate. And hopefully you can get some good racing going on this evening, as the checker flag is being waved on the qualifying session, and it will be Topher that will be the first of these drivers that are out at the moment to round off the last lap of qualifying. He's on a bit of a belter at the moment, currently looking to be improving. It all depends how these last couple of corners go. He's currently on a 143. How's he going to cross the line on? Has he improved? He has, and goes P6.
42, 288, 900s off of Adapter. He's on a lap that could improve. Next up is going to be the McLaren of Dan 94 PL. Current pole sitter looks to be about 4 tenths up in his best time here. Could he creep into the 139s, Rob?
We're still going to find out.
Narrowly misses.
But it's still an improvement nonetheless, and he looks to be sitting quite comfortably going into the pole. The next up will be the Ferrari of Salvatore. He improves and goes P4. Up next, I believe, is the Mighty... No, it's not the Mighty Adam. Who was that? Was that Jess Plays Games? It was Jess. She goes P8. The Red Bull of Mark Wilson is in a wall right at the very end. He's finishing it in P3, but where can the last driver go? We are on board with Adaptable Earl. I didn't see where he finished. Where did he finish?
I don't think he improved. It was P6. I don't think he improved. 10th off his best time, however. Maybe a little mistake creeping at the end, because he did look to be on a good time there, Rob, but that's qualifying done, mate.
It is qualifying gone, and I will let you return to your paddock, mate, to get ready for your race. Thank you for joining me temporarily as a co-host. Hopefully it won't be the last. Maybe, just maybe we get you in the comms box again very, very shortly.
Wait and see. Pleasure to be here, Rob. Best of luck for the comms, mate. We'll see you later on.
Thank you very much, buddy. So, just Scott makes his way down to Paddock Row. We'll go through the grid. It's no surprise that Dan, our current championship leader in P1, Wesley P2, Mark P3, Salvatore P4, James Shades P5, Adaptable Earl P6, Topher P7, Jess P8, Jenkins P9, Phantom Nug P10. That's our point runners. Adam, Atom, and Free4 are in P11, 12, and 13. However, 4 of those drivers failed to set a time, so we've not seen everybody go at it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure Scott's looking forward to it, and I'm sure all you guys at home are looking forward to it, as it is now a dry Miami. So maybe we can party on that beach, like Smith said in that famous song. I'm looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it, and it is a circuit I hold very, very dear. Obviously getting my first P2 in SRL there. Obviously the drivers are now setting. Can they do it? Are they going to have a good race? Well, we'll wait and see. As I said, I've already been over the championship table as it stands. What I've not been over at the moment is the constructors table. So while the boys and Jess set their eyes on getting their grid started, at the moment currently McLaren lead the constructors, followed by Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams, Haas, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Alpine and Alfa Tauri. Seems to be an Alfa Tauri car at the moment. No matter what league I'm in, Alfa Tauri seem to be having a bit of a bad day. So, under starting orders, they are now clear, 2 ready up. The drivers have now had a minute to decide their full strategy and obviously decide on any wing changes. You now have until the timer counts down to prepare and get ready for what should be a interesting race around Miami, as the time does tick down, as it's 29 laps with 5 red lights. It's 5 red lights and away we go, and it's a bit of a delay start as the drivers just seem to be sitting there, and now they're off. Here we go. It is a cross-play league, so obviously there is full of some bugs there. Jenkins moves up to P8 straight away as James Shades moves up to P3. It's a battle with the Ferraris. Dan gets away quite nicely and Wesley keeps hold of P2. Mark Wilson up to P3, and it's a good start. There doesn't seem to be any sort of bump and grinding going on at the moment. Dan, once again, currently in a league of his own still. However, he has got Wesley for company. Obviously, we're going to take a look at the tyres and see what people was on at the moment. That most of the drivers on that yellow compound tyre. Topher opting to go for softs. Phantom Nug and Freefall up to go for hards, as Adaptable Arrow seems to be having a bit of a battle between him and one of the Ferraris. As Adam drops and Freefall seems to have dropped a little bit. Has there been a bit of contact that I missed? I had to shut the door because there was background noise. But it does seem to be a good getaway for the 13 drivers. Very good opportunity here. Now, there is some overtake opportunities here in Miami. Now, it's going to be a good battle all the way to the very end. Like I said, 29 laps separate us and the winner. Littleton runs back into the room. I do have my little co-host back. Don't know what he's doing. He's currently doing a roly-poly on the bed. It was quite impressive, I must say. But Dan goes with the fastest lap of the session with 1 minute 38.3. Go get him, boys. Now's the time to try and get fastest lap. Can Dan pull off another good weekend? He's got pole. He's got the fastest lap. Can he bring home the win? Dan looks to be untouchable. He looks to be a champion in the making, but not if Wesley and Mark Wilson have anything to say about it. They are keeping up with him to a degree, but anything could change as Mark Wilson does breach those track limits there. He got caught on camera there, Mark. Remember, all corners of this circuit are being monitored. Good battling no matter where we go, and have a look at the moment. There's our temporary co-host SRL Freefall. He's up in the points. Jess is down into P11. Adam is down to 12, and Atom is currently down to 13. Now let's take a look to see, while we've been seeing that, let's take a look to see what the position changes at the moment. No surprise there. Our top 3 runners. Dan is still in lead position. Wesley in P2. Mark in P3. Adaptable Arrow, however, the reserve, is up to P4. Salvatore is down to P5. Jenkins is up to P6. Shades is down to P7. Topher is down to P8. Nug is up to P9. And Freeport is up to P10. Jess is down to P11. Adam is down to P12. And Adam's up to P13. As there seems to be a switch between the Ferrari and Jenkins. We've captured that overtake at the last seconds. Jenkins now back down to P7 as Wesley sets the new fastest lap of the session. Obviously, it's a dry race, so these drivers will be required to do a mandatory pit stop of some kind. Oh, it's a good start so far. No major crashes, no major bumps and grinds. However, it's a lot closer than normal for the battle for P1. We're going to jump on board with the battle for P2, however, at the moment, which is between Wesley and Mark Wilson. You have faith Jess finishing in points? Well, hopefully Jess can finish in some points this evening, as we have a yellow flag further down the back. Jenkins has spun. Was that a bit of contact with another driver? But Jenkins was doing pretty well. He's now plummeted down, but it is still early days. Hopefully that's not going to bump his confidence down a bit. Phantom Nug up to P7, getting round Topher. Let's see what the rest of these boys can do. The Ferrari team duo, Salvatore and Jim Shades, have been doing really, really well this season. I just had a quick message that I needed to respond to there, a quite important message. But Dan retakes pole position, well, it's pole position, it's the fastest lap of the race. Wesley's back up to P2. Mark Wilson and Wesley are having a battle for P2. Let's stick on board and see what's going on there. Oh, there's a bit of slight contact there between the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Where have we heard this before? As the Red Bull cuts the corner of Mark Wilson again, who does concede the position. So nothing gained, nothing lost there, but it could be one for the stewards to investigate post-race tomorrow. Obviously, any of the drivers that are watching live, remember you can put any overtakes, overtakes and overtake of the week, of course, but any potential foul play to the stewards, and they will take a look at it tomorrow evening, where post-race penalties can be applied from there. Adam manages to get back up to P11. It's a Williams 12-13 at the moment. I do feel bad for Jenkins. Obviously, he was up to such a good run, and then something's happened which we didn't catch, which has then caused him to fall down a little bit as well. Dan now has a bit of a gap. He's got a 1.8 gap on that Mercedes. Some people saying that he's a bit too fast for this league. Others saying that he's just in a league of his own. We're going to come aboard with Adaptable R, who's going to be looking to make the overtake done here on Mark Wilson. Mark defends it. Well, not able to get round here. However, another DRS zone popping up very, very shortly. Maybe Earl's going to have the opportunity to get the overtake and go to a podium in a short while. The battle for the top spots are really heating up. Remember, Adaptable Earl, currently a reserve driver, obviously will earn points for Aston Martin. Won't get him a place on the World Drivers' Championship unless he does. As we've got another yellow flag. Who's it this time? It seems to have cleared itself up. Nothing too major. I think that may have involved free fall to some degree. I'm not overly sure. However, Scott up to P10, earning himself some lovely points, considering that he was starting at the back of the grid. He's going the long run on them hard tyres. Topher will probably be expecting to get soft compound tyres. Maybe Topher will be coming in early and doing the long run. The medium runners, it could go either way. Depends how well they can make these soft medium tyres go. Ferraris is still sitting quite comfortably P5 to P6. Now normally I would have my co-commentator AFL sat here with me. Unfortunately he has been called into work this evening, so we won't be hearing from AFL for at least 3 weeks. Obviously we go on 2-week break as of today, as I'm officially on holiday, so the drivers also get a bit of a break as well. As Adaptable Earl, we've missed it, gets the overtake done on Mark Wilson in the Aston Martin and is up to P3 now. Anyone that is watching live on Twitch, as you know, we do have the Pokemon community game up and running. You can catch Pokemon on our stream, obviously when it is live, so now's your chance to earn some Pokemon while you can. However, back to the race, and Adaptable Earl now trying to breach that gap between him and Mark Wilson, and is now trying to hunt down Wesley and then potentially hunt down Dan. There's a camera on Dan just for a minute. Once again, sitting in a league of his own. Is the championship done before it even got going? Answers on a postcard. Obviously, but all it takes is for one bad move from Dan, and maybe, just maybe, it brings the other boys in to play. Phantom Nug getting round the Ferrari driver of Shades. Hard tyres possibly coming into their own at the moment, as Freefall has also got round Topher, who's now in to P9. The hard soft approach potentially could be the way forward, as Freefall is going to have DRS on Adam. He makes a go down the inside. Adam leaves space. It's a beautiful overtake for Scott, and Scott goes P8 in this Grand Prix. Lovely, lovely, lovely racing here. Simply lovely. from all our boys and Jess this evening. Obviously, not just the men's sports, women as well. Oh, there's a bit of a wobble there. Free fall having a little bit of a tank slapper by the looks of it. Keeps it under control though. Caught that in the background. Now the Ferraris have been separated by a silver arrow this evening now, as the drivers do look to settle into their own. Nobody caught Zangoose. No love for Zangoose as adaptable arrow. He's got DRS on the Mercedes. Can adaptable arrow. Now, we did have a couple of drivers with a quali ban. Now, for some reason in the back of my mind, I do fear as if maybe some of the drivers had a qualifying ban, may have set a lap. Have we had some naughty naughties? Well, Adam and Adam both didn't set a lap, so they did serve their qualifying ban, so that has been served. Obviously, the reason why they had their qualifying ban, post-race they were reported to the stewards and failed to provide any footage. So, drivers, if you are watching, make sure you are streaming your race, whether you're recording it to your console, whether you are streaming it to Twitch or YouTube. If you get submitted for a report, you need to submit your footage, as there is a yellow flag further back. I believe it's involved Adam, maybe? I don't know, bit of a yellow flag. Further back as Freefall is now up to P8. He's slowly creeping his way up. Those hard tyres coming into life. But as I was saying, and as one of our stewards is nodding in the background, if you get supported for an incident, if you don't have your footage, the stewards have no choice but to issue a qualifying ban. It was in the terms and conditions and in the rules before the season started. We let you go on round 1 because we're a new league. Round 2 on the other hand, nah, you had plenty of time. It takes 5 minutes to get a Twitch or a YouTube set up, or even to download Streamlabs OBS to your PC. You can record your race to that, and so long as you've got the footage, it's fine. You're covering your own back. It's better to maybe get a 3-second penalty than to get a qualifying ban. So make sure you're recording your race. Anyway, that's my dad duty done on these guys for this evening. It seems to have broken away now. The front 3 drivers all are positioned in equal distances from each other. Dan is 2 seconds in front of Wesley. Wesley and Adaptable Arrow have a bit of a gap for each other. And the battle for P4 is heating up quite nicely as Salvatore's looking to potentially get the move done on Mark Wilson with that DRS. The Ferrari looking as he goes down the inside. It's a beautiful send from Salvatore. It's clean racing. They're going side by side into the corner. There doesn't seem to be any contact, but Mark Wilson holds on to P4. Salvatore's going to have to look to go again to try and get that position done again as they head into that dogleg chicane, as they head down onto the big straight in a second. But you do have Phantom Nug in the background. Phantom Nug is slowly catching up on this battle for P4. So, just while these drivers, we're going to jump aboard with Salvatore again, who's looking to send it on Mark Wilson again at some point during this straight. He has DRS. Can he get the move done? They're going side by side. However, Salvatore's going to have the outside lane. Mark Wilson relinquishes the position, and Salvatore will walk away with P4 currently as it stands. But Mark Wilson, he's coming into pit. Has he got damage, or is it he gone, you know what? He's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding into pit lane. Mark, what are you doing, man? You know better than this. I believe it is, though, a set of white walls that is going onto his car as we have a yellow flag. Mark Wilson's called it a day. Now that is interesting. Mark, and he's left the session. Hopefully, Mark, Danielle, hopefully you still watch. Obviously, if you could let us know potentially what's happened with Mark. Have we got a potential stewards report coming our way? Obviously, do let us know. As we have another yellow flag further back. And that is Jess. There's a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. And I believe we've got a VSC at the moment. Jess, no, it's Adam. It's not Jess, it's Adam. I thought it was Jess. As we've got a VSC, Adam letting the cars by, doing the right thing. So I say VSC has, what is Adam doing? He's going to get black flagged at this rate. He's arrested. There we go. He's fine and away he goes. Off he goes, but he does have wing damage. Don't know what happened there. We did only catch the back end of that. Unfortunately, DRS has now been re-enabled. The VSA has been brought in. Now, it's been a while that since we've seen VSC or a safety car in this league. It will be interesting to know what's happening. Obviously, we're going to see if we can get a message from Mark Wilson and find out what's happened. And we'll let you know as the race continues. 10 laps down, 19 to go. As Dan still leads comfortably by nearly 3 seconds. However, Wesley and Adaptable Earl will pretty soon be getting into that battle for P2. Earl has done amazing. Oh, damage from someone. There could be a very good steward report then coming in as the Haas of Adam. He's in a wall again. It's going from bad to worse for Adam for no win. But he is coming in, so he will be doing his mandatory pit stop as he picks up a 5-second penalty to make matters worse. And apparently Mark picked up wing damage, and then he picked up the penalty, decided to call it an evening there and there.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Well, unfortunately, we have had some confirmation from the Red Bull paddock that Mark Wilson has called it a day on his time at Red Bull. He will be missed, and it is a massive loss to the SRL community. But hopefully we find a driver soon. Anyway, back to the racing that is at hand. Obviously, we'll come to that later. Now, we are just going to go mute for a minute, just because Harry's having a little bit of a fuss in the background. I will be back momentarily. Harry! And I've just realised I've been on mute again this whole time while Harry has been... So you've missed everything that I've said. I've said... I could have... You know what, it's just one of them Rob moments where he forgets to unmute his mic. Anyway, as it stands, drivers are currently doing their hardest. We've had a bit of a position change at the moment, so a lot of drivers are opting for those new hards. Freefall has currently gone from last to second, but he is still yet to pit. And Dan looks to be going to catch up. Now, I don't think the mediums are going to last 16 laps as it stands, but we will soon find out. Adam now moves up to P7 as there's a bump and a smack between some drivers. I don't know what's gone on there. We will find out what's going on as Nug comes in for his pit stop. And it does mean the first challenge is on. Scott is now up to P1. However, there is Dan. How long can Scott hold off Dan for? That is the question. Salvatore makes his way back up to P5 because Phantom Nug has come into pit. He's coming back out as that's a dangerous re-entry there. That could be one for the stewards to definitely look into. As we've got a yellow flag elsewhere. Jenkins picks up a 5-second penalty as he comes in. I really hope it's not another retirement. I really hope, Jenkins, you can hear me, and I really hope you keep going. He's coming on for a set of mediums. Here we go. Is he still in this race? Yes, he is, and off he goes. Adam getting back into this race. He'll be having a bit of a battle with Jenkins on the restart, but Jenkins does get out in front. James Shade's having a battle and exceeds track limits there to potentially gain the position. We will be monitoring that. Oh, what's going on here between Adam and the Ferrari? What is going on? That's... Freefall is into pits, currently with a 10-second gap over Adaptable Arrow, but Adaptable Arrow has got the re-overtake. Scott back down to P4. Top three are back in their positions where they were before this. Scott looking to get out in front of Phantom Nug. Phantom Nug looking to go for Freefall is back down to P6. He's going to have a bit of bubble. He's got those fresher mediums. As he's going to be having a bit of a battle. Salvatore gets out just in front, so Scott's going to be hunting him back down. Interesting battling here going on absolutely everywhere you look. Scott trying to hunt down the Ferrari of Salvatore. Salvatore on hards, 3-4 on mediums. Scott will be on the softer well, he's on the softer tyre of 2. Will be on the quicker tyre, but those hards will last a bit longer naturally. Just over halfway into this Grand Prix, there's been some drama already. A couple of retirements. I am eating my tea at the minute, and as you can hear, the little one has come to try and find some food. He wants me chicken. Well, it's my chicken, mate. And we are getting out of the realms of chicken and heading back to the realm of F1. We're at 3-4, looking to try and potentially get the overtake done soon on the Ferrari. The front three drivers are all quite literally spaced well out at the moment. 3-4 now gets that move done on out Salvatore. Up to P5. Sorry, someone went the wrong way. Hey, don't try and nick my chicken. As Dan goes fastest in the race, currently sits provisional winner at the moment as it stands. However, we've still got just under half a race to go. We'll see what happens. Back goes to SRL 3-4 now, who's retaken that position. Now, like I said, and I've been saying, don't sleep on Scott. As Adam has left the session, apparently. I don't know what's happened to Adam. Hopefully he can get back in, otherwise he'll be classed as a DNF. It has been a good race so far. There's been drama in this race. Those that know me, I'm not a big fan of drama, but it is what it is. Hopefully.
Harry is therefore your co-commentator tonight.
Yeah, he definitely is, because he's trying to steal me chicken.
Just for your hire.
Well, Jess is currently sitting in the points at the moment as a reserve. You never know, it may go Jess's favour. She may be getting offered a full-time seat somewhere very, very soon, because she has been desperate to get a full-time seat here. She is technically next in line at the moment. Right, let's go and try and find a bit of a battle, as we do have one for the battle for P4. 3-4 definitely trying to catch up on Phantom Nug at the moment to try and get into the top 4. Hopefully they'll be hunting down Adaptable Arrow. Look at that speed compared to Phantom Nug. Phantom Nug losing out a lot of time there to Scott. That's allowed Scott to catch up quite quickly, and it will give him DRS into this zone. Is Scott going to take P4 going out of this corner? Only time will tell, as Scott's looking to make the move down on the outside. Can Scott get it done? I think Phantom Nug's done enough to defend for now, so Scott will be going for another go onto the main straight. When I say the main straight, the long straight on this track. You'd have thought that main straight would have been the starting straight for Miami. Of course, obviously, this track built around the Miami Dolphins Stadium. You cheering Scott on, or are you after my chicken? After my chicken, of course you are. Scott's looking to make the move done again on Phantom Nug. Can Scott get it done? The fresher mediums versus the older mediums. Scott gets the overtake done, but Phantom sends it on the inside. Is there slight contact? I don't think. Scott loses it a little bit. Was there contact? I don't know. But Scott losing out on the position. Scott goes back down to P5 and has to work up that position yet again. If anyone's going to do it, though, it is Scotty 3-4. Now, everyone else is pretty much spread out at the moment, so we are going to stick on the board with this immense battle for now.
I'm finally here.
Finally here. You're here. You're finally here. You've tuned in with just 10 laps to go of this Grand Prix, so fasten your seatbelt, because we're in for a fast ride. Scott's got DRS again on Salvatore. Not Salvatore, Phantom Nug. Can Scott get it done this time? He's looking to get it done on the outside. Backs out at the last second. He's going to try and go for it. Not a chance will Harry be a permanent co-commentator. When he's older though, however. Harry, do you want more chicken? Is that what it is? He's after my chicken, folks. I think you've ate more than my tea than I have. Yeah, yeah, you've definitely ate more than my tea than I have. Scott backing away from Phantom Nug ever so slightly. I hope Scott hasn't got damage. I don't know if there was contact between the two of them last lap. Scott stays out, so I don't think there is any damage at the moment. Still the closest battle at the moment, however. Wesley is closing the gap on the championship leader, that is Dan. Now this is interesting. This is the closest battle we've had against Dan in a long time. Is Wesley going to get the move done? Because he does have DRS assistance. Wesley goes down the inside, but backs out of the last second. Battle for P1, heating up. Are we going to have a different race winner today? Is Dan's winning streak going to come to an end? We'll soon find out. We've got 8 laps between here and the checkered flag, and it's still heating up in Miami as well as it is outside and in my bedroom. Because the heat here makes me feel like I'm playing this in 4D. We have a yellow flag. It's a half. And Adam Majesty's out, and that's a safety car. That's a late game safety car. Now then, what are the drivers gonna do? Yeah, car.
I can imagine the wind on the drivers is nice.
No surprise here. The front 2 runners have come in, and no doubt it'll be for a set of reds. And it is. Wesley's on reds. Dan's on reds. Here comes the Datsbolt arrow. No doubt he's going to go on to reds. Phantom Nug picks up a 5-second time penalty. That's not what he's going to want to see this late on in the race. Scott comes in as well. No doubt that's going to be for Perez. I tell you what though, Salvatore makes the brave call on hards and he's staying out. Is he wise? Is he mad? You have to let me know later on in the comments. Shades is coming in. He's coming in, rolls out for a set of softs. Atom, I don't know if he's got control of his car yet. I think he's out of this race. He's going to get an official black flag. Jenkins, this is going to allow him back into the race. He can serve that second time penalty and get a pair of softs and get back into the race. Yeah, Jenkins coming in, no doubt here for a set of softs. Jess, she just recently came in for a set of softs. I don't know if she's going to decide to come in for a newer set of softs or might as well stay out there and get the overcut, or the undercut I should say, on her teammate.
Right.
Now then, this is interesting. As it stands, officially, there is 11 drivers left in this race. Yeah, this will be very, very interesting. Dan was under threat from Wesley. Has that now reversed? Has Dan breathed a sigh of relief? And is he going to keep hold of that? Now, there seems to be switching positions between. Salvatore gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's gone, you know what, I made the wrong call. He's got wing damage from somewhere. Phantom Nug is also coming in. I believe that's to serve his 5-second time penalty he picked up a moment ago. So, free fall's now back up to P4. Atom, unfortunately, has been black flagged from this session due to the fact that his AI will have driven too much of the race to be counted, unfortunately. Shades is on P6. Salvatore's going to be coming back out in P7. Nug's coming back out in P8. Topher also came in for a fresh set of softs. He'll be on P9. Jess will be coming round now for P10. And Jenkins in P11. As it stands, the remaining drivers, apart from Atom, because he has been officially black flagged by the stewards, will be picking up points in this session. Now, it's going to be an interesting... The safety car could potentially be in this lap. If not, we are going 3-second time penalty for Jenkins for multiple track warnings. He's raced... His AI has now raced too many laps. That's why he's been black flagged. Official rules and regulations for SRL. Your AI can do so much of the race for you if you wanted. However, he's disconnected. Yeah, so we've had to black flag him from the session. So it's not actually Atomic, which is racing as it stands, as far as I'm aware. Actually, it could be him. Adam, have you managed to get back into the session?
That's a shame.
And I'm just going to see if I can find out if Adam is back in the session, because if he's back in the session, it will have to go under review to find out how many laps he was desynced for. Adam could potentially be back in the session.
You don't have a trainer pass yet. Face with raised eyebrow. Enter.
So I'm just waiting to find out if Adam is back in the session. Honey Badger, if you do want to partake in the Pokemon challenge, you need to get Pokestar. So you are going to get your starter Pokemon. Who are you going to get? You got a Tepig. Tepig. Jenkins has come in for another set of softs. I think he may have had wing damage again. Luxray's not a starter. Go and catch a Luxray. Luxray's not a starter. It only gives you starter Pokemon. Ah, dear. You want it. Well, keep an eye on my streams, because when I go live, every so many seconds, well, a period of time, Pokemon do generate. And Pokemon do appear. Obviously, do Pokecatch, and you can attempt to catch it. Now, all the drivers are now back together, so we are going to jump on board with Dan94PL. It's going to be a mad 5 laps to end this Grand Prix. Nice one, Honey Badger. You've managed to catch yourself a Houndour. Safety car is, I think it's coming in. I think it's breaking away from the pack now. Safety car is in this lap, so Dan is going to take control of the pack. Now he's going to be wanting to catch Houndour's Gen 3, mate. It's in Hoenn, so Ruby and Sapphire. Dan will be taking control of the pack now. There we go, look at them all, look.
Never seen it in my veins low.
I've not seen a Houndour. Right, anyway, we are now going to jump back on board with Dan, who has gone. Now we are back underway with racing, with 5 laps of racing to decide who's going to win the first SRL Miami Grand Prix. Dan was under threat from Wesley. Then a late game safety car may have changed it. As we've got a Ferrari falling down. There's a collision between the Ferraris. The horses have both dropped. What's gone on in the Ferrari paddock? Has Bonotto returned early? Anyway, Jess is now up to P7. So, Jenkins up to P8. 3-4 up to P4. But it's still that elusive battle now between Dan and Wesley Shades has retired, and I think that's a retirement on track. That is a retirement on track. That can be classed as a race manipulation there. Rules and regulations state for SRL, no retirements on track are allowed. And that will be one for the stewards to investigate. It's going to be a long one at the office tomorrow night for the stewards. However, we may have to be hiring stewards now since Mark Wilson has completely left. Would you say? Dan now goes fastest.
That's just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Are Razorback still stewards?
Yeah, well, they are, but they, because of their outside interests clashing with it, they only put their views in now. So I'm going to need a new steward. I may have to put together a brand new stewards team. So keep an eye. If you do wish to express interest in being a steward, please let me know later on in the server. Wesley, desperate to catch up on Dan. DRS will be reenacted next lap. Can Wesley do it?
The back to below with the 3-second penalty, crying face.
And we've lost Salvatore as well. When did Salvatore retire? Is Salvatore retired on track? Well, it's been a dramatic Miami Grand Prix, and the race is nearly over for some of these drivers. Obviously, it's over for 4 of them, at least at the moment. A good little battle for P. Who's it going to be? Free4 is trying to catch up on Adaptable Earl. His first, both of these boys, their first appearance in SRL, both looking for a podium. As Wesley takes control of the Grand Prix with 2 laps to go. 2.5 laps to go, I should say. And now then, things are going to get spicy. Dan said that Miami wasn't one of his favourites. I don't know what Wesley's point of view on it was. Dan's looking to get the overtake back done and reclaim P1. Dan is now back in the lead at the moment. Wesley's going to be wanting to stick close to Dan. With 2 laps left to go, it's either of these boys' games. Who's going to be the winner of the Miami Grand Prix? We have still got plenty of action left to come. Let's take a look on board for this battle for P3, as Scott's going to look to get the move done down on Earl. Can it be done? They're going side by side as they go down into turn 1. Earl with the inside. Scott's going to leave space. Is it going to be kept clean? The answer is yes. This is good racing from the top 4 drivers. Scott's going to look to try and get the move done on Adaptable Arrow. Adaptable Arrow has done fantastic as his first day as a reserve for SRL. Good battling here from these 2 drivers. Scott, a very experienced E-League racer, is now back into P3. Earl, I believe, has got good experience here with Formula 1 games, or he's taken to it quite naturally. Going to be interesting as the battle for P1 is still heating up as well. as we are now approaching the last lap of the Grand Prix. We have got a very action-packed race to the very end, as Wesley currently leads by 67%, 3-4 back up to P3. It's going to be hard battling between the top 4 drivers to decide the podium.
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Wesley is in front.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
It's side by side. I don't know who's going to win this. It's going to be potentially... Are we going to get a photo finish? As Dan has a bit of a tank slap. Wesley's going to sense that. Wesley's sticking on the tail of the McLaren. This is great stuff. Who's going to win the Miami Grand Prix with half a lap to go? I don't know. I'm on the edge of my seat. Wesley will have... He will have DRS going into the last 2 corners. Who's it going to be? I've actually stood up. Wesley's going for a late dive. Who's it going to be? Wesley's got lead of the Grand Prix with 2 laps left to go. 2 corners left to go. Wesley goes wide. Dan's going to be on the inside. Who's it going to be? I think Wesley's done what he needs to do as he crosses the final corner. It's going to be Wesley. Mercedes wins. It's Wesley as the leader of the Grand Prix takes it. Dan P2, Scotty P4, P3, and Adaptable for P4. Phantom Nug P5. Topher will come in P6. What an epic ending to a fantastic Grand Prix. Topher P6, Jenkins P7. Jess P8 and Atom will take P9, and that will round off our finishers. What a race to have in Miami, as it looked to be right at the very end that we were going to have. Wow, 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 wow.
P8, yay! Hi everyone, thank you for watching. I'm sweating like a pig on fire. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching everyone. Goodbye. Zoe Mimi.